What if signing the best player on Earth actually made your team worse? Not on paper, not in theory, on the actual pitch in real games, in real moments that matter. Because that's exactly what's happening at the Bernabéu right now, and nobody's really talking about why. What's good, everyone? Welcome back. Today we're getting into something that's been bugging me for months. Kylian Mbappé at Real Madrid. The move that was supposed to make them untouchable. The front line that was supposed to terrorize every team in Europe for the next decade. And yet, here we are, April 2026, and something's clearly off. The chemistry isn't clicking, the football is stuttering, and the reason is more fascinating than you'd think. Let's get into it. Cast your mind back to the summer of 2024. Real Madrid had been chasing Mbappé for years, and when it's finally happened, on a free transfer, sort of, because the signing bonus alone was reportedly somewhere around 150 million euros, the football world basically stopped. The dream was simple. Pair him with Vinícius Júnior on the left, Bellingham driving from midfield, Rodrygo chipping in on the right. Here's the core problem. Individual brilliance. Everywhere you looked. How could that not work? Fast forward to now, and Madrid are stuck. The pace is there, the quality is undeniable, but the balance? It's slowly disappearing. And to understand why, you need to start with a map. When analysts look at positional data this season, what they find is striking. Mbappe and Vinicius are operating in almost the exact same attacking corridor. Same zone, same instinct to cut inside on that right foot, both demanding the ball, both hunting 1v1s in that left half space. Think about what that means for the opposition. You're a defensive coach. Your job is to stop Real Madrid. And you actually know that virtually all the danger is funneling through one narrow strip of the pitch. So what do? You pack that lane. You sit deep, you compress that half space, and dare Madrid to find another way in. And Madrid's legendary counterattack, that speed and transition that used to be absolutely terrifying, it just evaporates. Because without a striker pulling defenders centrally, without any real width on the right, the space to run into simply doesn't exist. Here's where it gets even more interesting, though. It's not just tactical. There's a human element to this. Think about who these two players are. Vinícius Júnior has been the soul of this club, the kid who came from nowhere, fought through doubters, and turned himself into one of the frightening attackers on the planet. Madrid is his identity. And then Mbappé arrives, the most anticipated signing in years, a finished article, a player who's been the best in the world at his peak. Both of them want the ball, both of them need the ball to be effective, and both of them are programmed to hunt in exactly the same hunting ground. It's not about ego. It's not about selfishness. It's about geometry. The pitch doesn't stretch to accommodate two alpha ball carriers trying to occupy the same 10 square meters of turf. And you can feel it. The spark that used to make Madrid's attacks look unstoppable, that terrifying unpredictability, it's flickering. The dressing room feels the friction, the fans feel it. The project that was supposed to dominate European football is quietly, uncomfortably, stalled. Now, layer the midfield problem on top of all this, and it gets brutal. Toni Kroos retired in the summer of 2024, and I know it feels like ancient history now, but the numbers since then tell a story Madrid fans probably don't want to hear. Kroos was the conductor. Progressive passing, tempo control, the ability to slow a game down or accelerate it at exactly the right moment. He was the architecture holding everything else together. Valverde and Camavinga are incredible athletes, box-to-box beasts, but neither of them is spraying inch-perfect passes through a press or dictating rhythm the way Kroos did. The engine room runs hot, fast, and slightly chaotic. And that chaos directly impacts Mbappé. Without a proper quarterback in midfield, he's forced to drop deep to get on the ball. He's covering ground that a center forward shouldn't need to cover. The result? 3 high-volume attackers creating gridlock between the penalty areas. Defensive shape gone, gaps opening up behind. Opponents are already finding them. Madrid are leaking in ways they simply didn't before. So here's the bottom line. And let's start with what the numbers actually say, because Mbappe's individual output, it's genuinely historically elite. In his very first season at the Bernabéu, Mbappé bagged 31 La Liga goals, the most any French player has ever scored in a single top 5 European League season in history. That beat Thierry Henry's 30-goal Premier League season with Arsenal's Invincibles back in 2003-2004. And if you know football history, you know just how ridiculous that comparison is. He won the Pichichi. He won the European Golden Shoe. He became the first player in history to finish as the top scorer in a top 5 European league for 7 consecutive seasons. 7 in a row. This season, he's picked up right where he left off, around 39 goals across all competitions as of early April, leading Madrid's scoring charts by a distance. So let's be absolutely clear. Mbappé is producing. The numbers don't lie. But here's the thing, and this is what makes this whole story so fascinating. A player can be individually brilliant and still be tactically disruptive at the same time. Goals don't automatically fix a broken system. That's the paradox nobody wants to sit with. The star is shining, the machine is misfiring, because names don't win trophies, systems do. If this summer window doesn't address the structural problems, a proper midfield anchor, genuine width on the right, maybe a complete tactical reset, then all those individual goals won't add up to silverware where it matters most. Madrid were built to evolve. Right now, they're colliding with themselves. The question was never whether Mbappé is world-class. He clearly, undeniably, historically is. The real question is whether the people building around him understand that balance always beats brilliance in the long run. So I want to know what you think. Is the Mbappé era a slow burn masterpiece that just needs more time? Or has Madrid fundamentally misread what their squad actually needs? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. If you're into deep dive football breakdowns like this, hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. We do this every week and you don't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Vamos Madrid. But let's get this right.